All right, let's dive into a story, a really intense one. It's about pride, revenge, and a destiny that was so locked in, so absolute, that not even the Buddha himself could do a thing to stop it. We're talking about the total downfall of a kingdom, and it's all a profound lesson in something called fixed karma.
So let's just get right to the most shocking part of this whole thing, the central question. How on earth did the Buddha's own kinsmen, his own family, end up as a pool of blood? I mean, seriously. To even begin to understand that, we've got to go back, way back. This is a story that unfolds over generations.
The answer really boils down to this one powerful concept: fixed karma. And look, this isn't your everyday cause and effect. Think of it more like a destiny that's been set in stone, a force that's become so powerful, so unstoppable. It's like a debt that has come due, and it absolutely has to be paid. No extensions, no excuses.
Okay, so we're going to start this story at the end. I know, a bit backwards. But to really get how we got here, you have to see the sheer devastation of that final, brutal chapter first. The sense of powerlessness here is just staggering. You've got the Buddha's top disciple, Moggallana, a guy with incredible psychic powers, right? He sees what's about to happen, this impending doom, and he can't just stand by, so he uses his abilities to save 500 of the clan's best men, whisking them away into his alms ball. He thinks he saved them, but later when he opens the bowl, they've all turned to blood. It's a horrifying moment, and it proves one inescapable point. Their karma was fixed. There was absolutely no way out.
So how did it come to this? To understand that bloody ending, we need to hit rewind and go all the way back to the beginning. And it all started with an act of, well, profound arrogance.
You see, the Shakyas, the Buddha's own people, were highly respected, but somewhere along the line, that respect they had for themselves curdled into this massive, unbending pride. They believed their bloodline was so pure, so much better than everyone else's, that they flat out refused to marry their noble women to outsiders, not even to powerful kings. And that pride, well, it was going to be their undoing.
So what happens? The powerful king Prasenajit from a neighboring kingdom comes along and requests a Shakyan princess for marriage. And now, the clan is totally trapped by their own rules. They're too proud to say yes, but too scared of offending a powerful king to say no. So what do? They choose deception. They find a beautiful servant girl, Mallika, dress her up like a princess, and send her off, pretending she's the daughter of a nobleman. This one single lie, it's the spark that lights the fuse for their entire destruction.
And from that deception, a prince is born. A prince whose personal humiliation and pain would become the fuel for the annihilation of an entire kingdom.
So let's meet Prince Birudhaka. He's the son of King Prasenjit and Mallika, the woman everyone believes is a noble Shakyan princess. And of course, he grows up with absolutely no idea about his mother's true origins as a servant.
When he's just 8 years old, think about that, just a little kid, he travels to the Shakya clan's lands. This is his mother's supposed homeland, and he's there to learn archery from his family. He's just a boy, probably excited to meet his relatives.
But the welcome he gets is just stunning in its cruelty. Instead of embracing him, the Shakyas are disgusted. They find out who his mother really is, and they curse him, calling him the son of a lowly slave. They don't just ask him to leave, they physically throw the young prince out of a new lecture hall they had just built for the Buddha. And then, to top it all off, they perform this ultimate act of contempt. They declare the very ground he walked on polluted, and they literally dig up that ground 7 feet deep and replace it with fresh earth. Can you even imagine the humiliation for an 8-year-old kid?
And right there, in that moment of unbelievable pain, a little boy's heart just hardened. It hardened into a man's solemn vow of revenge. He swore to himself, "The moment I ascend the throne, I will annihilate the entire Shakya clan." And he meant it.
And that vow, planted in the soul of a humiliated child, didn't just fade away. Oh no, it grew and it festered until it became an unstoppable karmic force.
He never ever forgot that day. The moment he turned 20, Virudhaka overthrew his own father, took the throne for himself, and what was his first order of business? You guessed it, to make good on that childhood promise. He immediately assembled his army and marched straight for the Shakya clan.
Now the Buddha saw this disaster coming and he tried to intervene. It's a powerful scene. The
The first time the army marches, the Buddha goes and sits silently under a withered tree right in their path. Viruddhaka, out of respect, turns his army back. He tries again. The Buddha is there again. A second retreat. He tries a third time. Same thing. The Buddha is there, a silent protest. And a third time Viruddhaka retreats. But on the final march, the Buddha isn't there. He knows. He understands that the karmic debt is come due. It's fixed. And there's nothing more he can do.
But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Out of all this tragedy and destruction, an incredible figure emerges, a counterpoint to all the hate, showing us that there's another way.
So first, let's just look at the two brothers here. You have Viruddhaka, the vengeful one. To get his throne, he didn't just get rid of his father. He also killed his own compassionate older brother, Prince Jeta. Now, Prince Jeta is famous for something completely different. He's the one who gave his beautiful garden, Jeta's Grove, for the Buddha to use for teachings. His legacy is wisdom and peace. One brother's legacy is a place of enlightenment, the other's is a pool of blood. It's an incredible contrast, right? Two sons, two completely different paths.
So what did Viruddhaka get for his victory? Did he get to enjoy his power? Not at all. The Buddha predicted that he and his court would die by fire in just 7 days. So on that 7th day, the paranoid king takes everyone out onto boats on a river, thinking, hey, no fire can get me here. But then, a mysterious fire literally erupts from the water and burns them all alive. His conquest, his revenge, it was all for nothing. His kingdom was absorbed by another king almost immediately. All that hate achieved absolutely zero.
So why are we going through all this? What's the bigger picture? It's this entire massive family tragedy. The arrogant relatives, the deceived father, the vengeful, murderous brother. This whole world of pain and suffering is the backdrop for Queen Śrīmālā. She was Viruddhaka's sister, and she became an enlightened bodhisattva who gave some of the most profound teachings on wisdom and compassion right from the heart of this unbelievable storm.
Which brings us to the core question, the big takeaway this whole story forces us to ask ourselves. It's all about a very, very fine line.
When you look at it, the law of karma here is brutally simple and totally inescapable. It's like this. An arrow of hatred that you shoot to destroy someone else will always find a way back to you. The Shakyas shot an arrow of pride, and it came back as an entire army. Viruddhaka shot an arrow of vengeance, and it came back as a mysterious fire from the water.
You can see the whole cycle of destruction laid out so clearly. It starts with the Shakya's pride. That pride leads them to deception. That lie then causes a deep, unforgettable humiliation, and that humiliation festers for years until it explodes into revenge, which finally leads to annihilation for everyone. A perfect, tragic, vicious circle where nobody wins.
And this right here is the most crucial part. The Shakya clan, they didn't think they were being arrogant. In their minds, they were just showing self-respect, preserving the dignity of their lineage. And Prince Viruddhaka, he didn't see his rampage as pure, raw hatred. No, he saw it as a justified response to his deeply wounded self-respect. Think about that. Both sides believed they were just defending their self-respect.
So this ancient, epic tragedy leaves us with a really modern and honestly a pretty personal question to chew on. In our own lives, when we feel the need to defend our self-respect, have we ever stopped to ask if maybe, just maybe, it's tilted over the line? Has it become pride? Or even arrogance? Where do we draw that line? That's a question worth sitting with for a while.